Chicago is out. Chance at even negotiating. They were out on the first vote.
Well, there they are clapping at the loss of the Olympics by the United States. That's a gathering of the conservative group Americans for Prosperity. That's an odd group to root against boosterism, responding gleefully that Chicago and President Obama did not win the 2016 Olympics. We're back. It's time for the Politics Fix with Mother Jones's David Corn, an unusual Babbitt to be appearing on the program, and Politico's Jonathan Martin. I'm going to put you in the role of Lions Club, Rotary, the kind of guy that really does way for local economic development.
Yes.
Bring new jobs to the town. Ironically, you've got the Democrats now doing the kind of boosterism. The Republicans have historically done well, which is more jobs for the city. This is going to be great for the town and great for the country. Let's face it, if we did have the Olympics coming up soon, it would be all we'd be talking about. I was in South Africa this summer. All they're talking about is the World Cup coming. I don't care how big your country is. I don't care if you're the Yankees. You still want to win the World Series. It's so exciting.
And, you know, there is an argument against bringing the Olympics to a particular city on economic and development grounds. You know there are people out there making that
the wet
case.
blankets.
Yeah, you can call them wet blankets. There's a policy argument against it, but the political argument is that basically people like the Olympics.
By the way, that policy argument is usually the lefties like you. I was like, we could put this money into welfare payments.
We'll have more stadiums, name them after Citigroup, and everything will work out well for the neighborhoods. But nevertheless, see the Republicans in this position where it's just so bitter and acrimonious. They're not out there saying this is for the best of the Chicago citizens. They're just saying,
guys, it's an embarrassment for Obama.
I read this thing the other day. They said the Frenchman wants to be known as the world's greatest lover. The Englishman wants to be known as the world's greatest dresser. The Russian wants his neighbor's horse to die. You know what I mean? They want some bad news.
Republicans Russians?
They just want some bad news for the person they're competing with.
Of course, they're reveling in the fact that the president that they despise had an embarrassing sort of moment here. That's purely what it is. But the irony is pretty rich, though, that the sort of famously patriotic party that called French fries freedom fries a few years ago is now cheering that the U.S. lost in their bid to the Olympics to Rio.
That's right. If Ronald Reagan, I ran this by Terry Jeffrey, who's just playing his position there. He wasn't going to agree with me, but that's fair, and that happens here. Yeah. If Ronald Reagan had stuck his neck out for L.A. Olympics, if Rudy Giuliani had stuck his neck out
for New York,
and then any Democrat had laughed, first of all, I don't think they instinctively would have. They would have said, good try, good move. I agree with you on this one.
Just imagine how happy these people would be if Obama lost a war. I mean, that may even come to pass, but they are just so.
Give me that newspaper over there, will you? Come here. Let me tell you. When you're talking about a war, let me just try to remind ourselves what we're talking about. Here's a war. This is real. 8 U.S. soldiers killed in that attack the other day on that outpost, and I'm telling you, it's real. We shouldn't. But let's talk about the Olympics, because I think Terry got confused. This is not nuclear arms negotiations with Gorbachev.
No, it's a reflection of the political times where we're so polarized, and anything that's seen as a loss for Obama, regardless of what it is cause for celebration by a lot of folks on the right.
I was looking at. We've all seen histories when the OJ verdict came in, black and white reactions.
That's right.
That instantaneous reaction is very telling.
Right.
Oh, yes.
And it's not a game. These people's glee was real.
That was what was kind of frightening about it. But I remember after 9/11, and for all the people on the left and the Democrats who really despised George W. Bush, who didn't think he'd been elected legitimately, and who also thought the tax cuts and everything he'd done up to that point was really bad for the country, a lot of them were rooting for him after 9/11 because they saw that the problems that the country had were serious enough that even if you don't like the guy, he's the guy there. And they put some of their hatred aside. And then it came back.
I got a lot of trouble with the left for doing that because I thought after 9/11 when he had the bullhorn there and he had the firefighter at his side, I said, I don't think Al Gore could have done it that well. I thought at that moment, he was King Arthur. He lost it later because he got the neocons talked him into Iraq. I'll say it a million times.